KCRW is not just a radio station. We have always thought of ourselves as a community.
Being at KCRW allows me to play the music that I'm extremely passionate about, music that I believe in.
And looking at technology that we can use to not just promote those artists, but to give people the opportunity to actually experience them in a whole new way was something that we were really interested in.
As one of KCRW's video producers, it's really exciting to come to work every day and we get to be in the room with the bands. We get to see famous artists, all kinds of different people, and see what they're like when they're creating music. And we want to bring people into that experience, and virtual reality is one of the ways to do that.
VR is becoming much more accessible, and every day people are being exposed to it.
And originally people thought that it was like you had to have these expensive goggles and you had to have this expensive equipment in order to make it work or able to view it. And now anyone with a smartphone or a mobile device can see this content.
And really what it does is brings you even closer into KCRW. You're standing in the middle of our studio.
You know, one of the things about VR that's so great is 2016 really feels like it's the year of VR. We now have Samsung Gear being sold at a price point that makes it affordable for everybody. We have Google Cardboard being handed out by major brands, including ourselves. So it's gotten to a point where it's sort of this mass adoption.
When we first started doing it, we weren't sure if it was going to work.
There was a performance with Death Cab for Cutie coming up for the release of their album, and we only had 2 weeks essentially to put together this camera system and the workflow to capture that performance and put you in the room.
And so we really wanted to bring that opportunity to our fans, bring that experience to our fans.
And that's incredibly ambitious when it comes to VR and R&D.
There wasn't really any designated workflow of how it worked.
So the rig that we've developed here for KCRW is made up of modified GoPro cameras that have modified optics to them, and that allows the camera to shoot a 360-degree image of the space in 3D. There's very few camera systems that are small enough to allow for 8 cameras to be close together, which is what you need in order to capture 360 from a single perspective. GoPro is one of those cameras, very small, shoots, at high resolution.
We've had to develop new ways to make things work, and we've hit tons of obstacles along the way.
Their lenses aren't quite wide enough to be able to capture the full space with 8 cameras in 3D.
Codecs not working, video cameras not working, modifying lenses.
So we modified the optics and put in custom lenses into all the cameras.
The placement is very specific on virtual reality. There's a specific distance between the cameras. We had to build this custom acrylic rig that we laser cut.
When the cameras shoot the room from all angles, you have to stitch it together. You have 8 cameras, 4 for each eye essentially, because it's 3D. And that also affects the way that you shoot it. You want to make sure that somebody isn't standing in a stitch line and their head is broken up in one part and their legs are in another, and sort of have it positioned in a space so that it feels as seamless as possible, so it doesn't break immersion and really feels like you're there.
We were right up into that day, putting stuff together, making sure the lens was going to work, putting the frames together.
A lot of sleepless nights for those 2 weeks, but we got it done. Shot the performance, they were great, and it's amazing being in the room with them.
And it came out great, and Death Cab was really cool about it.
Good shot. So it's really cool. Throw a 360. That's awesome.
Virtual reality, we have the technology now. We're able to make this accessible for everyone. So you can be in the room. You can look in 360. You can see any member of the band that you want to in the space that we have here at KCRW.
We're knocking down that wall. We're inviting you to come hang out. Make some popcorn and come watch this band play on MVE. It's kind of like this cool family affair.
So we're really excited to let the audience be able to direct their own music video and look at whoever they want to look at. If they're really intrigued by the drummer or the guitarist, they can just turn and check them out.
One of the things that we celebrate at KCRW is we're for the curious. And with VR, we allow you to be curious. Explore, use it, do it, get on it, download the app.